Faith through the barrenness, a tale of love, loss, and hope. My name is Harold, and at 55 years old, my story is one of love, heartbreak, and unwavering faith. My wife Naya and I have been married for 30 years, a journey that has tested every fiber of our being. She's a brilliant computer scientist, and I'm a social health worker. Together, we've built a life grounded in faith and compassion for others. But for 15 years, we carried an emptiness that no love, career success, or prayer seemed to fill. We longed for a child. In the first years of our marriage, we were optimistic. We believed that starting a family was just a matter of time. Naya would smile as she picked out baby names, and I would daydream about teaching our child to ride a bike. Our love for each other was a steady anchor, and our faith in God remained unshaken. But as the years passed, hope turned into anxiety. Each month brought disappointment, and each visit to the doctor ended with the same crushing words. We're not sure why, but it may never happen. We threw ourselves into the world of treatments, spending our savings on surgeries, medications, and therapies. Naya endured painful procedures, and I often found myself pacing hospital waiting rooms, praying for a miracle. The medications took a toll on her body and spirit, but she never gave up. Adoption became our next hope. We poured our hearts into the process, navigating endless paperwork and interviews. But just as we thought we were close, the agency rejected us without explanation. It felt like the door to parenthood had been slammed shut. The silence in our home became unbearable. Friends and family, well-meaning but insensitive, offered advice that only deepened our wounds. "You just need to relax," they would say. "Maybe it's not God's will for you." Some friendships dissolved under the weight of misunderstanding, and Naya and I found ourselves isolated. The pressure began to strain our marriage. We argued more often, not out of anger, but out of frustration and despair. One evening, after another failed attempt at fertility treatment, Naya broke down in tears. "Harold, I can't do this anymore," she whispered. Her voice was raw with pain. In that moment, I realized that our faith needed to be stronger than our desire. We knelt together in our living room and prayed, not for a child, but for peace. We asked God to help us find joy and purpose in the life we already had. As a social health worker, I began to see children in need everywhere, abandoned, neglected, and broken by circumstances beyond their control. Naya used her skills as a computer scientist to create educational programs for underprivileged kids. Together, we started mentoring children in our community. One boy, Samuel, stood out. At 13, he had already experienced more loss than most adults. His parents had died in an accident, and he had been shuffled between foster homes. He reminded us of what we had prayed for all those years, a child to love and guide. Samuel didn't call us mom or dad, but he became part of our family. We helped him through school, celebrated his successes, and cheered him on from the sidelines of his soccer games. Watching him grow and thrive brought a joy we hadn't felt in years. Through Samuel, we learned that parenthood isn't always about biology. It's about love, sacrifice, and showing up. At 55, I still feel the ache of unanswered prayers. But I also see the beauty in the life God has given us. Naya and I have learned to trust Him, even when His plans don't align with ours. To every Christian family waiting on God, I say this: hold on. Your story may not unfold the way you expect, but His purpose is always greater. Whether through a biological child, adoption, or the impact you make in the lives of others, your love has a place to flourish. Our journey taught us that faith isn't about getting what we want, it's about trusting the One who knows what we need. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. and watch our other videos for more stories of faith, hope, and resilience. Together, let's remind the world that God's plans are always worth the wait.